This is the Pro Wrestling Report, PrimeTime TV, the longest-running pro wrestling news program in the world, with your hosts, David Hero and Damian Nelson.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro Wrestling Report, PrimeTime Saturday night at a special time. Damian Nelson sitting alongside David Octavius Tiberius, your legend backyard, one-time knockout, straight-up hardcore, straight-edge hardcore, Hall of Famer hero.
Yes.
How are you, David?
I'm great. It's early.
Yeah, it is. We're in the dusk hour.
Yeah. Dusk till dawn.
Yeah,
one of my favorite Salma Hayek movies.
Is that right?
Yes.
So you have
Snake.
plenty of time to turn into a werewolf tonight and go and engage in some shenanigans.
Vampires.
Really?
Yeah.
You're a vampire?
No, but they were vampires.
Oh. All right, folks, well, let's get right down to it with this week's big story, and it is brought to you by Gruber Law Offices, who is ready to represent you in your personal injury case. Did you call Gruber after that thing happened at Blizzard Brawl with me?
Because it was just one call.
And that was all, but they are ready to represent you and get you the compensation you deserve. Call 414-276-6666 or visit gruber-law.com for your free consultation right now. WWE announced and has been promoting the return of John Cena to Monday Night Raw on May 29th, and we also know that Seth Rollins, I think it's May 30th actually, and we also know that Seth Rollins has returned to training for a return to the ring soon.
You know, Cena will return in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
In Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Oh, that's somebody else.
The only time Bischoff, Heyman, and McMahon have been in the same ring at the same time together.
And let's not forget,
Wisconsin.
Donald Trump refunded Green Bay one night.
He refunded Green Bay on the commercial-free Raw brought to you by KFC, and he also dropped Trump dollars from the ceiling.
Yes.
But, folks, in fact, John Cena sent out a tweet earlier this week saying, and I quote, "I have done my best to return to WWE as fast as I can, but I hope people understand just how amazing Seth Rollins' recovery is."
That just shows you that John Cena is not selfish.
Who said he was?
The fans
Bella Girl?
say he suck.
They didn't say selfish. They said he sucked.
Yeah,
There's a difference.
obviously he's a team player.
Well, folks, both men have been out for several months due to injury, and these are two of the biggest stars that WWE has right now, and you would have to imagine that they would both make huge splashes when they make their returns to TV. But first, let's talk about John Cena. When he was sidelined due to injury back in January, he missed the Royal Rumble, but was able to make an appearance in a non-wrestling role at WrestleMania 32. Now he comes back into a new era of WWE stars where his role will be unknown. Does John Cena hop right back into the WWE title picture, or does he get back to the days of the Open Challenge and works with some of those newer stars from the new era?
I would like to see Cena work with some of the newer talents.
Yeah?
Help elevate them, yeah. But he has to be careful because, you know, whoever he works with, they're going to cheer for the young NXT kid and boo John Cena. So he's put in an interesting spot.
But when he did that U.S. title Open Challenge thing,
yes.
I'm not sure if a Sami Zayn, who's endorsed, or a Kevin Owens specifically would have gotten as far as they are now without that rub, if you will, from John Cena in those matches.
I mean, John Cena is the Hulk Hogan, the Steve Austin, the Rock, the Andre the Giant of this generation. Mm-hmm. He is the man. And if you work with him, you're elevated. If you can hang with John Cena and John Cena likes what you can do, you're made.
So who would you put him with? If he does come back into that role of working with the younger, newer talent, who would you put him with? Who can he elevate?
Baron Corbin.
Baron Corbin, which would be an unlikable person against a likable Cena.
Yeah.
Interesting. He's got the size.
Big bully.
Yeah.
You know, I can see Corbin and Cena do some cool stuff together.
Interesting. Okay. Anyone else?
You know, and I talked about earlier, I like Apollo Crews.
Where's he been?
Well, I think when Vince saw that Stardust was taller than him, they may have gone backwards a little bit. Give him Kane's elevated boots. Put 2 more inches on him.
He's lifting?
He needs, yes.
Apollo Crews and John Cena. Powerhouse versus powerhouse.
Yeah, I think it could be good.
Now, I think in the Open Challenge days, the U.S. title created the investment amongst the fans. What would create the investment amongst the fans if it were a Baron Corbin or an Apollo Crews against Cena?
I mean, I could even see if he's coming back on Memorial Day in Green Bay. And let's say that Rusev beats Kalisto.
Well, he beat him this past Monday night, didn't he?
Maybe John Cena comes back with Rusev.
Wins the U.S. title, gets it back, starts the challenge again?
Yes.
Picks up where he left off, sort of?
Yes.
That makes sense, huh?
John Cena, he's not gonna be anywhere near Roman Reigns and AJ Styles for a while.
Yeah.
Because they need to build those guys up to be bigger stars.
After this,
I could see John Cena and Roman Reigns down the road at maybe Money in the Bank or
You've talked about that.
SummerSlam.
You've talked about that.
Yeah.
That's a money match, right?
Oh, it's huge.
Reigns is... People have been talking about Cena turning heel, but Reigns has somewhat turned heel without turning heel as of late.
Reigns is just a fighter. He
that
doesn't
guy?
care. Yeah, he's just out there taking care of himself.
Well, folks, no matter what, WWE is certainly happy that John Cena is going to be back on television at part of their programming and events. We still have to discuss Seth Rollins, though, which we will do tonight on Primetime Extra, which follows this broadcast online at PWRshow.com.
You think John Cena comes back with new merch?
Well, of course he does.
Yeah.
What color hasn't he used yet?
Fuchsia.
Which former WWE star is battling murder charges? Who just signed a new contract with Ring of Honor? What stipulation has added to the NXT Championship match between Samoa Joe and Finn Balor? Find out the answers to these questions and many more when Primetime TV returns here on My24 Milwaukee and Fight TV.
Hi gang, Mean Gene Okerlund here on My24, and you're watching the Pro Wrestling Report. All of the news about wrestling, not only here in Milwaukee, but throughout the world. Stay up to date. Join us every Saturday night.
The Soder family thought they'd take a road trip this summer. A little fun, a little sun. What could possibly go wrong? Even under the best driving conditions, semi-trucks can still be dangerous. The results of being in a wreck with 40 tons of steel and speed can be catastrophic. And it only gets worse when you don't have Gruber Law Offices on your side. If you or a loved one has been injured by a semi-truck, call Gruber Law Offices now. One call, that's all.
Don't miss your chance to catch the best pro wrestling on the planet. Ring of Honor Wrestling, when the road to Best in the World Tour rolls into Milwaukee on Sunday, June 12th at the Turner Hall Ballroom with a 7 p.m. bell time. Featuring Jay Lethal, the Briscoes, Adam Cole, the Young Bucks, and more. Experience body slamming, super kicking, pro wrestling action live. Visit ROHWrestling.com now for tickets and info.
Welcome back, fans of the Pro Wrestling Report. Prime time Saturday night here on My24 Milwaukee. Special start time, special broadcast time here tonight, David Hero, before Ring of Honor.
And this works out pretty well.
How so?
Well, we can start earlier.
Start what earlier?
Everything.
Everything?
You can get to the supper club earlier. You know, you get
Have you been there?
Get a better seat at the craps table earlier.
Folks, let's get to this week's hot news, which is brought to you by PWR Reaction, live every Monday and Wednesday and pay-per-view Sunday. So tomorrow night, a special edition of Reaction as well at PWRshow.com. You can listen live and call in to share your thoughts on this very, very interactive show. You, the fans, drive the show. You get all the details now at PWRshow.com. There's more confusion over the future of TNA Impact Wrestling as their 2-hour weekly show on Pop TV was not included in the network's upfront presentations earlier this week. I'm reporting facts. I'm going to let them decide. At the presentations, networks court advertising dollars and announced their fall lineups. The fact that TNA was not included in the presentations or the released fall TV lineup could mean that they do not view the programming as valuable enough or that they do not plan to carry the programming any longer. While we don't know the exact reason, we do know that while TNA is the network's most watched programming, it generates far less revenue for the network compared to other programming that best fits the network's female demographic. James Caldwell over at PWTorch.com recently published some interesting data on the revenues that TNA Wrestling generates compared to other programming that is certainly worth a look.
How do you feel about this?
Well, these upfronts are very important to the networks. That's how they secure advertisers get dollars for their programming. And we know that the replay has been removed from the schedule for Pop TV and Impact Wrestling after moving it to Saturday mornings over a 4-week run.
Which doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, apparently, reports are that this replay was to gauge interest in a potential second broadcast on the network original programming from TNA Impact Wrestling, and clearly that is not going to be the case.
You know, I watched Impact Wrestling on Tuesday night.
You did, on Pop TV.
It took me like 9 minutes to find the channel.
Is that right? You don't have the interactive guide?
I had to do the search. I went through that guide, but I didn't realize it was so low on the numbers. So I had to do a search to find it.
Folks, 2 matches have been announced for Ring of Honor's next pay-per-view event titled Best in the World. Jay Briscoe will challenge Jay Lethal for the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, what's interesting, though, David Heroes, where's Colt Cabana now?
That's what I was wondering.
He didn't get a fair shot at the title due to the Bullet Club interference last time.
I'm confused.
Well, Dalton Castle is also going to get a shot at Bobby Fish's TV championship that he won at that previously mentioned Global Wars event. Now, Best in the World is going to come live from North Carolina on Friday, June 24th.
You think Dalton Castle will have the boys with him?
I would imagine he should.
What bathroom will they choose?
I can't answer that. I don't know if the situation has been resolved in North Carolina yet. Also in Ring of Honor news, though, Alex Shelley has signed a contract with the company. I've always been a fan of Alex Shelley. He recently did reform the Motor City Machine Guns with Chris Sabin, and he took to Twitter after the signing saying, and I quote, "Paying dues and hard work never go out of style."
No, not at all. It's good to pay dues.
WWE star Emma is out indefinitely with a back injury. The company announced the injury on Monday, saying that it occurred at a live event over the weekend.
Terrible timing.
Yeah, very much so. The company followed up by saying that she had a ruptured disc in her back.
Now just think, the 2 times Emma's got her start, they've been derailed quickly. First, there was the whole iPad scenario at Walmart.
iPad cover.
Yeah, and now it's, it's too bad. She's very talented.
Very talented. Dana Brooke, though, still getting action on Monday nights on Raw, which is good because she had been paired with Emma recently.
Oh, see, maybe Dana Brooke should team up with Big Cass since they're both without their tag partners.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Jimmy Superfly Snuka, who was accused in the death of his girlfriend back in 1983, has been back in court this week to determine whether or not he is mentally competent to stand trial. Snuka is said to be suffering from dementia and severe mental impairment brought on by a history of abusing alcohol and cocaine, along with damage from many years of wrestling.
All those hundreds of concussions he's had.
That according to an ABC News report. Now, earlier this week, one doctor said he was incompetent to stand trial, and then on Wednesday, another doctor said he was competent to stand trial, and the decision was to be made by the end of the week. And as of this taping, we don't have the final decision there. Now, Snuka has pled not guilty to the charges of third-degree murder and manslaughter.
Up on the stand.
Well, he was on the stand when the charges were initially brought, and in his grand jury testimony, that's what helped the second doctor determine that he was able to comprehend the questions and answer them because he did understand them. So it's going to be interesting for the Superfly going forward. Folks, in ratings news this week, WWE matched last week's viewership, and TNA saw an increase in viewership on their flagship shows. WWE Raw had a achieved 3.19 million viewers, which is just slightly lower than last week's show. And it's important to note that that show aired against the NHL playoffs, the National Hockey League, and the NBA Finals on TNT. Meanwhile, over on Pop TV, Impact scored 311,000 viewers, featuring, of course, the main event between Bobby Lashley and Drew Galloway for the title. They grew that over 30,000 viewers from the previous week. That's this week's hot news, folks.
Still to come here on PrimeTime, Diamond of the Ring, DWHS, the Event Center, and Be the Booker for tomorrow's Extreme Rules. All that, a bag of chips, and more when PrimeTime returns here on My 24 Milwaukee and Fight TV.
Hello, this is Jeff Hardy, the Charismatic Enigma, and you're watching the Pro Wrestling Report on My 24 Milwaukee.
back, ladies and gentlemen, the Pro Wrestling Report, primetime Saturday night. Damian Nelson sitting alongside David Hero. It's really Saturday evening this week here on My 24 Milwaukee. Now, we do return to our normal time of 10 o'clock p.m. Central, following Ring of Honor Wrestling next Saturday night.
This is my whole sleep schedule, just so you know.
Your slar phase?
Huh?
Coneheads. But let's find out, though. Hopefully your sleep schedule is not that jacked up that you can't tell us who this week's Diamond of the Ring is.
It's not really about what happened in the ring. It's what happened outside of the ring. This week's Robert Hack Diamond of the Ring goes to our dear, good, close personal, and longtime super friend Goldust, who is celebrating 8 years sobriety this week. So what a great, successful 8 years it's been for him. He's happier. He's wrestling better than ever before. If you get a chance, check out his book, Crossroads.
It's a great book.
Fantastic
I think that's the last wrestling book I read, to be honest with you.
Well, I'm sure you read Stephanie McMahon's book.
Her memoir?
Yes. But with that being said, this week's Robert Hack Diamond of the Ring is Goldust.
Good choice, and congratulations, Dustin Runnels, on 8 years of sobriety. Folks, let's go now into this week's NXT report. And last week it was announced that Finn Balor would take on Samoa Joe in a rematch for the WWE Championship at TakeOver on June 8th in Orlando. We got a lot of events coming up. Man, it's Extreme Rules tomorrow. I'll be in Boston that weekend, actually.
I'm not aware of this.
You're not aware of that, but I'll be in Boston for a 24-hour visit.
Really?
Yes, in Boston
that
weekend, so I'm not going to Orlando. And then on June 24th, it is Ring of Honor Wrestling, and then WWE, I think, is that same weekend, perhaps, with, is it Money in the Bank in June?
It's in Vegas.
It is in Vegas on June 20th, 19th, actually, Father's Day. We talked about this. You can't go.
Oh, that's right.
But after a brawl between the two was aired live on Facebook over the weekend, the match has now been made a cage match between the two. Now, it seems as if this feud between Balor and Joe has so much old-school flavor to it, and it's building to this payoff match in the cage.
Yes, and that's NXT is more of a territory. They run things like a territory.
Yeah.
So why not have a cage match with those two guys? And you know what? It sets it up where Joe has the advantage, because if Joe is the Joe's gonna kill you guy against Finn Balor, does Finn Balor become the demon going into the cage? You know, there's so many different variables.
Because he's been Finn Balor.
Yeah.
For the last couple of weeks.
But if he's gonna go into a cage, maybe he needs to be the demon.
Does the demon get angry though?
I'm sure he gets pissy.
But angry is different from pissy. I'm looking forward to the matchup, and here's one critical error that I've had in my life over the course of the last 12 months.
Just one?
Just one. And, you know, I'm usually on top of things, and I usually do this rather swiftly, but I neglected to officially endorse Finn Balor.
Oh, my God. You know, you can't endorse everybody.
What do you mean endorse everybody?
You're endorsing all these people.
The Miz, Sami Zayn, Rockstar Spud, Heath Slater, Bully Ray.
Yeah.
Who else? That's all.
You endorsed the Pope.
I never endorsed the Pope. So I've got like 5 people I endorse. The people you think are these Mighty Mouse Club members of yours, what are there, 80 of them now? How many free shirts have you sent out?
It is the greatest collection of human beings on the planet.
That's this week's NXT report.
The PWR Fantasy Draft goes into its second event with Extreme Rules tomorrow on pay-per-view. Last time, the Nelson family took the early lead and win with 230 points, while the Super Friends scored 205 points at Payback. Going into tomorrow's event, the family is in the lead, but will they come out of it still ahead? We will have the full update on the scoring next week on PWR TV. After the break, we will find out what wisdom does David have for us in this week's DHHS, this week's Event Center, and be the booker for WWE Extreme Rules.
At Gruber Law Offices, we understand that when you've been injured, life is tough. That's why we offer so many services for free. First call, free. First consultation, free. Stuck at home or in the hospital? We'll come to you for free. We'll deal with the insurance company for you and get you the help you need. Call Gruber Law Offices now. We don't get paid until you do, and your first consultation is always free.
Hi, this is Lita, and you are watching the Pro Wrestling Report on My 24 Milwaukee. Claim your cash for the Robert Hack Diamonds $250,000 gold buying event going on now. We're paying top dollar for your gold. Bring in your gold rings, gold chains, gold bracelets, and claim your cash. Bring in your diamond rings, diamond pendants, loose diamonds, and claim your cash. Bring in your estate jewelry, your antique jewelry, and heritage jewelry, and claim your cash. It's fast and easy. If we can't beat a competitor's offer on your scrap gold, we'll give you $20 just for trying.
Robert Hack Diamonds.
Fingers looking good.
Don't miss your chance to catch the best pro wrestling on the planet. Ring of Honor Wrestling when the road to Best in the World Tour rolls into Milwaukee on Sunday, June 12th at the Turner Hall Ballroom with a 7 p.m. bell time. Featuring Jay Lethal, The Briscoes, Adam Cole, The Young Bucks, and more. Experience body slamming, super kicking, pro wrestling action live. Visit ROHWrestling.com now for tickets and info.
Here to the Pro Wrestling Report, Prime Time, Saturday night. Damian Nelson sitting alongside David Hero. This show's moving along like lightning, and we still got Be the Booker coming up.
We have a lot of content this week.
Yeah, we do, and unfortunately, we got to waste about a minute of it right now with DWHS.
Oh, this is spoken word. DWHS. It's no secret. I was watching TNA Total Impact Wrestling.
Total Nonstop Impact Wrestling.
Yes, wrestling on Tuesday night, and you know what? I opened it, I watched it, open mind, open eyes, a lot of great young talents.
Did you watch it to just enjoy the show, see what it presented?
I did, yes. And you know what? You have guys like Eli Drake, EC3, Rockstar Spud, Tyrus, Bobby Lashley, guys that are bona fide A-plus blue chipper stars. Mm-hmm. Except for the production value. The production value, I'm convinced, is what hurts that show, because when you're watching it and they go on, to zoom in on the talent, and 3/4 of the camera is the lights from above the ring.
Well, they got a small area to work with. Not much smaller than NXT, actually. They might have a bigger sound station than NXT.
Yes. So, TNA Impact Wrestling, great talents. I know that.
You always got to knock something. You couldn't just say it was a good show. How dare you? You're a WWE apologist.
No.
That's what I read.
An apologist is not the right word.
That's what I read. What word should they be using?
I don't know. But now, see what could you do?
That's fine, because it's time to go to Julie in this week's event center.
But wait. And with that, David Hero has spoken.
Welcome to the PWR Event Center, brought to you by Casablanca on Brady, bringing you the finest in Middle Eastern cuisine and a truly unique dining experience. Head on down to Casablanca for some great food and some tremendous hookah, featuring my favorite flavor, watermelon mint. Ring of Honor invades Milwaukee on Sunday, June 12th for the road to the best in the world. See the stars of ROH at Turner Hall in Milwaukee on June 12th. Tickets are going fast and are available now at papstheater.org. That's it for this week's Event Center, brought to you by Casablanca on Brady.
Damian Nelson sitting alongside David Hero, and it's time, David, for the fantasy booking segment. Be the Booker. What would you do if you were booking tomorrow's Extreme Rules show from Newark, New Jersey?
Yeah.
And let's talk about it match by match here. And the first up is a no disqualification matchup.
It's the pre-show match.
Baron Corbin versus Dolph Ziggler.
He's on Team Super Friends, Baron Corbin.
Baron Corbin
It's an interesting match. It's a no DQ. It's hard for me to envision a babyface losing a no DQ match.
Okay.
This should be the blow-off match. Should be the one to end the feud, correct? It should be.
Sure.
But you would like.
Most of these
you'd like to believe the babyface should beat Baron Corbin, where he would, make his own mistakes and and beat himself. But he did that last month on the pay-per-view. This is a complex match for me.
Complex.
Because I would like to see Baron Corbin get the victory.
Okay.
But I think Dolph Ziggler. I think if you're going to give it, Dolph Ziggler is going to find a way to turn everything around on Baron Corbin and get the win.
Because he's, endorsed, Dolph Ziggler?
Yeah, he is. He's something else. Yeah.
United States Championship on the line as Kalisto defends against Rusev.
Oh, this has to be the end of Kalisto.
It has to be the end of this feud.
It does. Especially with John Cena coming back in a week or so. I think Rusev and John Cena is the way you got to go. And Rusev has Lana back, and the League of Nations has been split up, and I think Rusev needs to get back on track.
Where's Ryback?
He's home.
Well, he's the pre-show stopper.
Well, he's home.
Tag Team Championships on the line. New Day defending against the Vaudevillains.
The Vaudevillains got the best of New Day on Monday Night Raw.
They did.
They did. And it's weird seeing 2 guys get over on 3 guys, but they did that. You got to believe New Day gets their heat back. They got merch, they got cereal, they got bootios, they got the crowd behind them. I like New Day to get the win against the Vaudevillains.
Which two perform in this matchup?
The two that always do. Kofi and Big E.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the other guy's
Nobody
always
does
playing
it.
with that trombone gimmick outside.
Unless it's a singles match. That's the only time he really...
Yeah.
Interesting. Huh. Women's Championship, folks. We talked about yesterday at Feedback Friday, this contract signing between the two, Natty versus Charlotte. Charlotte defending against Natty. If Ric Flair comes down to ringside, Charlotte will forfeit the Women's Championship.
How great would that be? That might be the finish.
Really?
She
A
gets
non-finish?
Flair to come out.
But she
Charlotte
loses the title.
Loses the belt, and then splits up Rick and Charlotte because, let's face it, they can't be together all the time anymore.
I thought Charlotte was going to slap him in Charlotte on Monday.
But it's also
in Greensboro,
a
rather.
submission match.
Is it?
Yes.
I missed that part. It is, absolutely. It started off as a submission match, yes.
So maybe
perhaps
Natty has Charlotte in the sharpshooter.
The sharpshooter?
And
Charles
Flair
Robinson.
comes out. I think Natty needs to become the new women's champion. I think she deserves it. She's been around long enough. She has paid her dues. She has helped elevate so many of those girls. She's like the den mother. It's time for Natty to get her her run.
You don't think Charlotte needs to maintain the championship longer?
Not at all.
Really?
No.
Does she need a reason to turn on Daddy? And losing the title is that reason?
Well, I'm sure she has plenty of reasons to do it. Over the years?
Well, I mean, we're not privy to that in a public forum at this point anyways. Intercontinental Championship on the line in a four-way matchup, folks. Sami Zayn, the endorsed Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and Cesaro, all three challenging for the Miz's Intercontinental Championship.
See,
it's a fatal four-way, so I believe that means elimination, or they're all in at the same time.
Everyone's at the same time. Miz, he's had his run. Cesaro, he's over like Grover. Owens is the favorite.
What's the purpose of the tape?
Because he has a shoulder injury.
But what does the tape do?
Support.
Interesting.
Yeah, it supports the skeletal foundation.
This is tape.
But it's more than that. It's like super tape. I think, I think Sami Zayn is the favorite to win. I really do, because if you look at it,
oh my,
he did the clean job last month at Payback.
He got destroyed by Kevin Owens afterwards as well.
And on Monday Night Raw, again, he was left laying by Kevin Owens. He is the ultimate underground underdog right now.
That's what his shirt says.
Yes.
Yes.
So, like we've seen before, it's usually always right in front of us. And I honestly believe Sami Zayn gets the big ICW win.
Where does that leave Cesaro? Because obviously then you can go from Zayn and Owens again with a reason and a meaning, minus just a friendship. But where does that leave Cesaro in this scenario?
Maybe Cesaro can go over there with Rusev.
Really?
Yeah. Why not?
Why?
Because I think it'd be funny to see a guy from Russia and a guy from Switzerland fight for the U.S. title.
So that appeases a party of one. What about the masses?
Well,
would you rather do Zayn and Owens as a program going forward if Zayn wins, or Zayn and Cesaro as a program?
Well, the money is in Zayn and Owens because they've had so many matches together. You can throw Cesaro in there, but he'll get lost.
Can the fans reach a fatigue level on Zayn and Owens?
They got 2 more months of that.
Okay.
That's it.
Folks, next up, it's an Asylum cage match.
Okay.
The black cage.
You saw it, right?
I saw it.
Wasn't it Lethal Lockdown from TNA? When that cage came down and everything,
sure
I'm like,
was.
That looks familiar. Who knew?
I'll leave my snide comment to myself.
Oh, no, please, be snide.
I just hope everything's secured properly.
Bro.
Well, you remember when the X fell?
The X?
They had an X Division Championship matchup, Ultimate X match, and the X fell?
Yes.
An Asylum cage match, folks. It's Chris Jericho versus Dean Ambrose.
Jericho is just putting everybody over. Ambrose has to win this match.
Has to.
It's his match. He created, for TV purposes, he created it. If he loses that match, Dean Ambrose is done.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So he can't afford this loss.
He has yet to win a big match.
Well, folks, that is WWE Extreme Rules. And as you see, we have not yet talked about the main event matchup. That's going to be on Primetime Extra, which continues right now, folks, at PWRshow.com. Thank you for tuning in for that one. We'll see you now over at PWRshow.com for